Hi everyone, my name's Dominic and I'm a trombone teacher for Surrey Arts. In this video I'm going to be talking a little bit about the different ways in which the trombone is used in loads of different styles of music. But first of all, I'll just talk a little bit about what the trombone actually is. So the trombone is an instrument in the brass family, along with things like the trumpet and the tuba and the French horn. But the main difference with the trombone compared to those other instruments is that we have this nice slide. And that's how we change notes from a trombone. So rather than using valves like you would on the trumpet, we use the slide. And at the end of the video, I'm going to demonstrate a fun little piece which really uses the slide well, I think. So the trombone can play in loads of different groups and ensembles and bands, ranging from symphony orchestras to wind bands, to brass bands, jazz bands, pop groups, rock groups, anything you can think of more or less could have a trombone in. So the first little thing I'm going to demonstrate is an excerpt from an orchestral piece, and this is by Mozart and it's from his Requiem. And this is a very famous sort of trombone movement. It's basically just a big trombone solo. And it's interesting because Mozart used the trombones a lot in his the pieces he wrote with choirs, like the Requiem. And it's because at the time the trombone had the range closest to that of the human voice. So the trombone parts would just match exactly what the choir is singing, and we're there to basically just sort of help the choir out and sort of bump them up a little bit. And this excerpt is called Tuba Miriam, and slightly confusingly, that translates to the trumpet shall sound. So you've got tuba, which then translates to trumpet when it's played on a trombone. It's all a bit confusing, but wouldn't worry about it. And I really like this excerpt because I think it shows off two really contrasting sort of styles of playing back to back. So it starts off with a nice fanfare. It's quite strong and loud, and then it goes into this much sort of more lyrical flowing melody. So I'll just demonstrate that for you quickly now. So yeah, hopefully you could hear the difference between the nice strong fanfare and then the flowing sort of smoother melody towards the end. So that's just one example of a trombone solo in an orchestral piece, but there's lots of stuff out there, lots of great trombone writing, especially in sort of the later, more romantic stuff as well. Composers like Mahler and Bruckner would write really sort of strong, fun trombone parts. But so as I said earlier, the trombone can also be used in pop and rock music. So I've got a few little demonstrations of that for you now. So because the trombone can play fairly low, often we play a bass line. So here's a famous bass line which you might recognise. Yeah, if you ever sort of watch the football or the darts, you might recognise that one. So that's an example of a bass line, but also trombone sometimes has melodies and solos in pop music. Not as much as instruments like the trumpet or the saxophone, but it does happen occasionally. So here's a little example of a trombone solo from a song by Groove Armada, who really cool band. If you haven't heard of them, you should definitely go check them out. So it goes something like this. So that's just two little examples of how the trombone is used in sort of more contemporary pop and rock music. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is film music. So there's loads and loads of great music written for the trombone to accompany films. So I'm just going to demonstrate now two little excerpts from movies you might have seen. This is the first one. See if you can work out what it is. next thing I'm going to demonstrate is a bit more famous, probably one of the most famous theme tunes out there. It's by John Williams, who wrote things like Star Wars and Harry Potter and Jaws and just, loads and loads of amazing films. And this is from Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it goes something like this. So playing film music is so much fun because you just get to play all these nice big tunes, and it's great fun. So that was a very quick whistle-stop tour of the different ways the trombone can be used. And at the start of the video, I promised I'd end with a little solo piece which sort of shows off the use of the slide. So this is a piece called The Acrobat, which is very famous amongst trombone players. And thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.